Hey everyone, Jacob with Ascend Consulting here, running through our profit gap analysis today. This is a tool that we use with a lot of our businesses to help them determine where to focus at in their business to drive the best improvements. Business owners always hear, KPIs, metrics, but then what do you do with those? And, where should you focus at? What actually drives performance for the business? So this is one of the tools that we use to do that. When we're looking at profit gap analysis, we start with a benchmarking standpoint here. So this is an example where we are using IBIS World to pull in some industry benchmarks. So these are industry averages from a profit and loss perspective. So in this profit gap analysis, we're only focused on the income statement or P&L, and we are taking and looking at the percentages that your business is compared to the industry average. So in this case, you can see, revenue is always going to be 100%, but cost of sales, this client is at 68.9 compared to 44.6, where gross margin then is 31.1, 55.4. I won't run through all of these, but then you can see at the bottom, the profit margin is 2.8 versus 5.2. So in some areas, they're a lot better. Call out wages. They are 11.5% compared to 25% at an industry average. So knowing those pieces, that we have some both ways, let's take a look at what the profit gap is in there. So as we get into the actual profit gap analysis, we then say, if you adjusted your cost of sales, so we'll start at the top here, cost of sales here in the cost of sales to the benchmark amount. So if you went from 68.9 to 44.6, that would produce an extra $1,554,773 of profit. And then as we go to the employment side, we know employment was low. So bringing that in line, which would be increasing it a lot, would decrease profit by $863,000. And the reason you have to do both of those is there's a good chance here that maybe they are buying a more finished good than the industry average is. So they're making a widget and they buy it 90% complete and they only do 10% of the work to it. That drives up their cost of sales, drives down their employment cost. So by taking that on, you're going to, and now we're buying it 10% complete and we're finishing 90% of it. That's going to lower your cost of sales, but it's going to increase your wages. So you do have to consider both of them in there as you look at this. And then overhead cost, there's a small adjustment there as well to bring it to the benchmark, which would, remove another $211,142 of profit. But all said, if we just got to the industry average benchmark here, this client would produce an extra $868,000 of profit, which would be a 268% increase in their profit. So this is a major move for them to focus and shift in the right direction. So we really need to focus on cost of sales here to get them where they need to go. So this is the profit gap analysis is where we start on this analysis. And clearly here we are adjusting to the benchmark, which is an industry average. So long-term, our goal would be to get this client to best-in-class financials, not just the industry benchmark. But we start with, let's get us to the industry average before we go to best-in-class. And in this case, clearly a 268% increase in profit would be a big move for them. So now we know where to focus here because we know where those gaps are as we dive into that. So if this resonates with you and you need help preparing a profit gap analysis for your company, feel free to reach out to us. Or if you just want to get more content like this and learn from it, feel free to follow us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. But we'd love to connect with you if we can help you in any way. Thanks.